Howdy. Welcome to another TeleDynes live stream. Changed it to Friday this week. Got a busy weekend coming up. Nothing necessarily music related, but just personal stuff and kind of sort of a mini vacation, I guess, although I'm not going anywhere. So a few updates on the channel. Of course, we had the Good Rockin' Tonight video last week, I guess. And we got 2 new videos planned. Morning, Gizmodus. So I got 2 new videos planned coming up very soon. I'm recording them both at the same time, so I should be able to release one right after another. And one is about different tips on playing in a live band, particularly a 3-piece, and then playing, and then 5 tips for beginner guitar when you're first starting out, trying to play live, like beyond just buying the guitar for the first time, which part of the beginning lessons that I'm recording right now are going over that. So, and then we'll go into actual teaching. So one of the first lessons is going to be about how to tune the guitar, the notes on the neck, how to hold the pick properly, those sorts of things. But you'd be surprised at how many people don't. I mean, eventually I feel like it just starts to happen naturally, and everyone's got a slightly different approach to how they hold the pick and how they play, and that's what makes everybody unique, right? So, so today I'm just gonna kind of, chill out a little bit and play a couple things, and I figured that, I got all these guitars sitting around here. Why not we'll just kind of go around the room here and play each one and kind of somewhat compare them a little bit. Even though I did the comparison video, but I'm going to play all of them. So I got an extra little microphone hooked up here for the acoustic guitar, so you can actually hear it besides just the direct signal, which doesn't do it justice. I mean, that's great for live, but recording wise, I would never use the DI signal on an acoustic guitar. It's kind of useless. And then I'll bring the Tele out too. So people have been asking about the different rundowns of the different guitars. I'm doing videos on those as well. The first one's going to be on the Rancher, because that's the one that people have asked for first, and then I think it was the Phoenix was next, but I don't know. I'll do each one, even though the Gretsch guitars are very similar to each other. There's slight minor differences. Tone-wise, of course, they're different a little bit, but not too much of a difference. To me, when I play them live, I mean, it's the characteristic of the guitar, specifically because that are unique to these guitars, not necessarily the model. Just because the orange one's over 20 years old now, 25 years old now, so it plays different than it did when it was new. And the Phoenix always plays a little bit different. This one plays different, and it feels different in your hands, even though it's technically the same setup. Every guitar, even if it's the same line of guitar, every one is a little different. Preferably, it'd be nice to be able to play these things before you buy them, but it's not always easy to find these kinds of guitars in shops even today. There's a couple of, I'm sure there's some music store somewhere that's got them. But, I mean, Guitar Center carries Gretches, but they usually don't have the high-end ones. They usually have the Electromatic versions, which are great, but if you want something like this, you kind of have to take a risk on, if you can't find a music store, you have to kind of order it, take a risk, and see if it's going to be good. But generally speaking, these guitars are very well built, so take it to any guitar repair shop if you're not comfortable with it, and set it up, and it's probably going to play fine. So hope for those of you that saw the Good Rockin' Tonight video enjoyed that. I saw a couple of good positive comments, so that's good. I don't, like I said last time, I don't know how many more actual lessons I'm going to be doing as far as breaking down individual songs. I still had a couple other ones planned, and a few that people have asked about, and I'll still do them, but I want to move into doing some other types of content that I've been talking about, the history of the podcast and that sort of stuff. And doing the lessons videos are great, but they take up a lot of time because it's not only the recording and the script and all of that, you also have to break everything down and record the backing track, which with the other type of content I don't really have to worry about as much. Or at the very least, I'm making it up as I go. If I'm doing a Rockabilly riffs video or a finger picking tutorial or something like that, I'm making up my own riffs. So I don't have to adhere to a rigid, piece of music. And that's the other concern, is making sure that you're getting it accurate, you're getting it right, writing the tablature correctly, and so on. Sometimes there's tablature and sheet music you can go look up on these things, and other times there isn't. You're just either figuring it out on your own or trying to find. Oh, they're on. Oh, jeez. Okay, sorry about that. This thing keeps popping up on my covering up the thing. Anyway, I got to make sure I turn that off on the reuse settings when I set up the stream. So anyway, I was just saying that I'm going to try to move on to this other type of content. Still do the lessons, but it won't be as rigid. Like if I do the finger picking tutorial or a Rockabilly riffs video, I'm making up my own stuff. So I have leeway to play what I want, of course, but then also then if I change something as I'm playing it, I can go back and just change I know that sounded pretty good. I can go back and change the tablature to match what I played, as opposed to have to try to get as close as I can every single time when I play it. And sometimes it's difficult to find information on these songs, like finding sheet music. Sure, you can find chords or whatever, but or look up other people's videos. But they're doing the same thing I'm doing, because and just going by ear. Like I didn't know that when I played Good Rockin' Tonight, I used to play it like this. I used to play let's see how the solo started. I used to go and go and play like that. But that's not how it's played at all. Going back and listening to it. Or play it here. Well, that's the same as here. Same difference. But and then do. That's usually how we would play it. And that's why I saw most people playing it live. And then I went and listened to it, and I was like, oh, it actually starts up here the first time, and goes down, then starts down here. And it's not this, it's this, the droning thing. And then analyzing these songs for the videos, I've noticed that's pretty common back in the 50s. Eddie Cochran did the same thing on 20 Flight Rock. It goes up here, and then up here, and then it goes down here, A7, and then up here, and does this, which is almost like a D form, but it's not D. It's the G sharp to it's the A and the F sharp, right? So it's the flat 7 and the 5. And back down to the 1. So figuring all that stuff out it takes a little bit of time, and then playing it correctly and all of that stuff. Plus, I'm also looking at the analytics and on the videos, and the videos that are getting the most views are the rockabilly riffs and the finger picking individual. The mystery train one obviously has the most views, but again, that's not the whole song. That's just the riff. And so I figured, well, and I'm glad you like the idea. It's good to hear. And I'll still do some of the lessons too. But again, I'll be able to pump out more videos as well, and I think they'll be a little bit more interesting and unique than just be a little bit more creative with it. I feel that there's only so many ways you can do the lessons. You can either play everything in the beginning and then break it down, or do what I do and play a little bit, break it down, play a little bit, break it down, or just break it all down, and you're kind of locked into a few different formats. And I when I do the other videos, I can go kind of anywhere with I want with this, and I don't feel as locked in. So that's what I'm going to be doing, at least for the next few videos. And the gigs are starting to cool down a little bit, so I'll have more time for that. Although my other work starts to kick up here and there, so I'm always tugged in multiple directions. But I do enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy doing the live stream too. Next week we'll be doing the live stream. I forget what month. I have the. I don't know if that link is coming through on the videos or not, but yeah, next week will be will be on a Saturday. So, but I do have a show next week, and I think that's really that's the basic updates for now. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's play around with a little few of the different guitars. So we got this one, the Blue Harbor Hot Rod, and I'll try to keep the riffs the same. So we'll play the this is the rhythm pickup. Songs are like books, and before you can read a book, you have to learn words and letters. The riffs of the words and letters, which allow folks to think in words. Ah, okay, yep, that makes sense. It's coffee. Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with you. That's no, that's a good insight on that. Yeah, I think then so being able to do both of them, and that's something I do run into with teaching in general, is that you can teach the song forward, and that's great, but if you don't have the words and the letters, if you don't understand what you're doing, you're just playing patterns. And the minute if you're playing a song or you're playing with a band, and the minute you get thrown off, if that happens, or the band or somebody makes a mistake, you get lost, So you're not really understanding the language. Better to learn the words. Yes, I agree. Better to learn the words, and then you can always read a book. Yeah, it's better. I agree with that. It's better to learn how to read tab, how to read music, how the guitar works, where the notes are, how riffs and licks fit together. I think it's beneficial to learn songs to see how progressions get structured and see it in context, as opposed to just by itself. So that helps in that regard. And of course, breaking down individual solos can help you to see all of those riffs and those lyrics, the words, the letters, as you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, how that can be integrated, and how that's how other people use that stuff in context, how scales are used, how modes are used, and that sort of thing. And that's where you can take a specific song, which might be another idea. Take a song, something, whatever, I don't know which one, but and instead of breaking it down on how to play it, we'll break it down and what's going on musically, like what's going on theoretically. Most of the 145 rockabilly stuff's pretty straightforward, but the one come up to something that's a little bit more interesting, or has more, not more interest, but you know what I mean, it has a little bit more going on solo wise, that is playing off of different modes to be able to break that down and show, like, oh, this is a blues scale, this is Dorian mode, this is this mode, this is that mode, and could be a whole nother series or type of thing. Yeah, exactly. He has a bunch of tricks and things. Danny Gatton does the yeah, understanding how exactly. And Danny Gatton does the same thing. Setzer does the same thing. A lot of these, most of these guys do the same. Most of these guys do the same type of thing. They'll have a few tricks up their sleeve. That's a fun one. That's a fun one for me to play. I always like these riffs. Sounds good with the bridge pickup. I'll play that riff so I can switch guitars too. So that's the bridge. That's the middle pickup. That was the bridge. And we'll hit some chords here. Bridge, that was the neck pickup. Do both. Do a little that's the neck pickup. And the bridge. And do the rock and roll thing. Pretty drastic, I think, from middle to bridge for sure. Yeah, some of those Danny Gatton riffs are crazy. They're like trying to fit that in somewhere. Or the this one's that's relatively anything in E. You can just throw that in. Or you can play off of this. Little D, E, G, A, B, and you just pull off. That fills up some space right there. Easy to do, and you could it sounds crazy, especially when you get the delay going, right? So that's the blue one. Now the main difference between this one, this is this one has the Setzer signature pickups in it. T.B. Jones, a little hotter than the other guitars, but so it has a slightly different tone than the other one. So I'll plug in the other guitar and see. Let's go to the Phoenix here. Oops. There. So we don't get a pop. So this one. There you go. Increase the, start with some simpler riffs and then increase the difficulty. That can work. That's a good idea. All right, so we're on the neck pickup. Middle. I feel like this one has a lot of depth to it. Cool. If I could only keep one Gretsch, which would it be? That's a tough choice. I mean, I play the blue one mostly live. I like the shorter scale for the 6120, so that would probably be that. But honestly, I like the sound of the Phoenix probably the best when I just listen to it. And the action on this one is super low. Everyone always calls it a fretless wonder when they play it. And I have done very, very little maintenance to this thing. I had one little bridge issue once and a little, right at the very beginning when I bought it, which happens on most guitars, or at least hollow bodies with this cutaway here, is usually around the 14th fret. There's usually a kind of a bump that happens right at the heel for some reason. And sometimes it didn't really happen on the blue one. But it happened on the acoustic, it happened on the orange one, it happened on it didn't happen on the jazz one either, but so I don't know, it depends. But anyway, so it causes a fret out and you can't play. You can't bend a string here at the 12th, 13th fret, and so you have to get do a fret dress or just clean up that little area. Yes, please like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys for watching the videos, of course, and subscribing to the channel and building this up and keeping it going. Got a whole bunch of content. Got it all planned. I got the scripts going, and now I just need to get some time to record these videos and get them edited and get them uploaded. And of course, we'll keep doing this every week as much as I can. It keeps me regimented to a certain degree with the channel. Anyway, let's see what else did I play. Oh, I did this. Rhythm, middle. Then bridge. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would keep the blue one, probably, just because it's the one I play the most, and I'm comfortable with it. Very similar to the orange one. But I really don't want to get rid of any of them. Hopefully I can keep them all. And next I'll probably get some sort of either the smoke or a duo jet or something. I really want a duo jet because I've never owned one. So I've only played it I played one a handful of times. I've never played one in live in a band setting. So that'd be fun. Yeah, so that's the Phoenix. Again, a little longer scale, a little bigger overall body. The F holes are jumbo size. It originally came with a pick guard, and I took it off because I don't know why I took it off. Probably because it's just the way Setzer had taken it off. But part of it was also because when I got this about 2005, I think, something like that, 2006, and when I was playing, wasn't really doing any finger picking stuff back then, so I never really utilized the pick guard for what it really. I mean, obviously, it's supposed to protect you from the guitar itself, but I mean, the strings are so far away from the body here. It's not like an acoustic, where you see some people's acoustic guitar and they just there's a pick scratches everywhere. It's almost impossible to have that with a Gretsch. It's so far up any arc top, so it's more of an aesthetic. But when you're finger picking, I'll bring the orange one out here in a minute. Oh, that's what I should have done. Throw that Danny Gap lick in there again. Boom. All right. So I did tune all these up before I started. So here is the let's see. This is the neck pickup. A mellower tone to it. It's a little quieter output. These are older style. These are not TV Jones. The Phoenix was TV Jones. I don't know exactly what model they were because it was still when you buy it now, it's the same pickups that are in the blue one. So they could be the same because I believe it. It just says U.S. patent and a patent number on the top of the pickup here. So this was before they came out with these TV Jones Brian Setzer signature pickups. So I don't know if they changed the wiring a little bit and made them a little hotter. If it's they're not any closer to the strings or anything like that. So and there's electronically, as far as I know, it's still the same stuff. So it could just be the build of the guitar in general. Could be the pickups a little bit. They've kind of tweaked it as they went because this is the Phoenix is for that one's from 2004. It's the first line of them when they first came out, and I know they've changed a little bit over the years because they used to use ebony bridge saddles. This is ebony. The Phoenix is ebony, but I believe that the hot rod, definitely the new ones, but this one I think even the blue one is rosewood. And I know that when you the new Phoenix models are I think they're rosewood. Maybe not. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can tell the output is just a little bit lower. It's kind of mellow. That finger picking pattern. What, this one? I mean, it's all based kind of on the Travis style finger picking. But that is, you're just kind of just keeping the thumb going on the bottom. And you can kind of bounce between the 1 and the 5 there if you want. Or even the 7th there. To imply that you're playing a 7th. Of course, you're doing that already here. And then you're just playing around with these 4 notes on the top. In this case, I'm in A. So it's the 8th fret, 7th fret, the C, the B, and the G, and the F sharp. These 4 notes, and you're just kind of bend up that 6th. And then minor 3rd to the 3rd. Play around with that. And you do have to, if you want to get that octave, you do have to kind of move your, you can try to put your ring finger over both so you don't have the 7th open. Huge difference. Or just move your ring finger down a little bit, you know, as you're playing. I find myself when I go to like the 4, for example, I used to just, that's based on the Travis style picking, and then I'll usually start the rhythm with 2 picking at the same time, like, right, and then just bounce back and forth. So it's, what is that? Thumb, ring, thumb on the A, ring on the E, thumb on the D. I don't know how I do it. I just kind of do it. I don't even really think about it. So yeah, and after the D, then middle finger on the G string, and then back to the A string, and then the B string with the ring finger. But what since I started doing a lot of the Chet Atkins stuff, I will bounce back and forth between the 1 and the 5. As opposed to just playing the top 5 strings all the time. Anyway, I think I did this. Natural to go to the 4. Now, this, you can still buy this version. I mean, this is the Setzer signature. I think it's not the smoke. The smoke is a little bit different. I think that's more of just a paint job difference. But they still sell this style. The only difference is this is a pre-Fender, so it's had a lot of tweaking done to it since then. But it's closer to what they make now. The locking tuners are a different brand, but that doesn't really. I think doesn't really matter that much. I think the pickups, I don't know if they're the same. I really don't know. These still say, this just says U.S. patent on it as well. And of course it comes with this mud switch, they call it. And I had I've had this one disconnected, so it does nothing. It doesn't even flip in the right direction. Just completely disconnected. And so is, and the dice knobs, I had those disconnected as well. They don't do anything. So I basically just had it turned into a hot rod essentially. I thought maybe it would help a little. Well, sometimes these dice they'll get turned and I don't notice it, and then I have to go down here and make sure it's open. And I don't have to do that. And they're just volume knobs anyway. It's not like they're tone knobs. If they were tone knobs, I'd probably have kept them connected. But that's where the mud switch supposedly comes in. But honestly, it's supposed to be good for jazz. But I find it's better to just flip to the neck pickup and just turn the volume down a little bit. And or control your dynamic, play a little bit lighter. And if you really want that jazz sound, play through an amp that's more of a solid state kind of thing, and then you'll get that. Um, even without using the mode switch. Yeah, and I had a jazz amp for a while. I can't remember the name of it, but it and I would use this guitar in big bands, and I would play with the mud switch, but I would find that the guitar would just get buried, and I'd have to turn up, and then there would be so much bass as a result of it. Even if I turned the bass down, it would just be kind of dead sounding. It sounded better if I just kept the mud switch off in the middle and adjusted the tone on the amplifier, and then you could get a little bit more color from the guitar, a little bit brighter sound that would cut through the horns. Yeah, when the trombones the Barry sax was going, it would be doing, playing these chords or whatever. It would just they'd start playing, boom, and you're gone. You can't even hear yourself anymore. And the last big band I played with, I started doing that. I thought that's what the guy wanted, and he was like, "Oh no, turn that off. Make it. I want it to sound like the electric guitar. Where's that electric guitar sound?" Like, okay, great. Um, yeah, 60s Ampegs. I don't know what I had, but it was yeah, a little bit of breakup is fine naturally from the amplifier. I found that the mud switch would always give a breakup in general, even direct, like when I record direct into any recording device, tape or digital. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I might have it reconnected at some point, or just when I get the smoke, I'll just leave that as is. Okay, so I'll do that, Danny, again. Yeah, you can hear it's not as hot. Yeah, I haven't played this one live in a while. I mean, I've played it in the duo act that I do, but it's not. That's really quiet anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Every time I've tried to bring this out live, it just I don't get any sustain. I don't get any. It doesn't cut through. Even if I turn up, it doesn't. And then if I do, it might feed back or yeah, it's got some issues live, but maybe I'll try it again for the next show. All right. Let me move on to this the jazz one here. Okay. Now, I'll play direct for a second, but every time I record with this guitar, I always find that you need a little bit of an acoustic sound because it just doesn't. Are they? Yeah, the Danny JBE pickups. I've never played with them. I've never seen them. So let me. This is just direct. Can't really bend with this thing. What's going on the screen there? Anyway, so I can't do those same riffs, but I can do the rhythm. Right? This one has a tone knob. So I don't know if it's a tone or if it's a I don't think there's a pickup in the in the saddle in the bridge. And it's got round wounds on it too, so it makes it a bit difficult. It plays more like an acoustic. These are, I don't know what the gauge of these strings are, to be honest. 13s, I think. It's either 12 or 13, something like that. They don't feel like it. And it works great for playing some of the stuff I've been doing lately with the duo. I've been doing some of these, just jazzy instrumental. Want to get copyright. Yeah, they're a little heavy. I think they're 13s. Not sure. It's those D'Addario chrome brand, whatever that is. And I haven't changed these, knock on wood, in a long time. And I've had this guitar since, when did I buy this thing? 2010, I think. Maybe it was 11, 2000. No, it was 2011, I think. Anyway, I've changed the guitar strings on this once, maybe twice since then. I never really played it that much. I pretty much just used it for recording and jamming at home and stuff like that. And then I started doing these duo gigs recently, and I decided to break it out and use it live. But I don't really have an amp. The amp that I use for my duo stuff, I've been using this Fender acoustic, which isn't ideal because it tends to it just, these strings on the top don't pop out, and you'll get heavy bass down on the low end. And it's designed for acoustic. It's not really designed for acoustic pickups. It's not really designed for this kind of guitar. But I have plugged it through the basement, and it sounds great, and it's pretty hot live. So that's what you hear. That's the right. That's pretty. That's the direct signal. So let me see if this works here. I haven't done this before. I'm going to turn off the direct signal and just play through the microphone. If this doesn't work, I won't be able to do the acoustic, but let's see. close together. It's got delay on it too. Let me turn that off for a second. Now that still has the Bassman plug-in on it. I turn that off. It's just the direct signal. So, yeah, if you're it's relatively inexpensive, for a jazz guitar. I like it, of course, because it's a Gretsch, but and it's got that acoustic element to it, but it doesn't really have. It's not an electric guitar, 100%. Having the flat wounds on it, that's the way it came. It came with flat wounds, so that's just the way it is, and it sounds good. You can use it through an electric guitar amplifier, but you can also play it through an acoustic amplifier. Like, it doesn't do the greatest, but uh, through that. But if you plug this, I've gone through that and just output to a PA system. Honestly, does pretty well. So yeah, the arc top. Yep, yep. So it's got that more vintage or older sound, more classic jazz guitar tone to it, as opposed to a modern electric arc top with humbuckers or something. Even though this has a mini humbucker in it, but a lot of them, some of them have flat wounds, some of them have round wounds. It just depends on what you want to do. Obviously, the round wounds are you get, like, if you get 13s or 12s or whatever. I think it's when it goes to 13 is when the third string, the G string, it becomes wound. And that's when you're really not bending anymore and you're pretty much just playing jazz, but that has a brighter tone to it. So, but I just keep this one as round wound, and it works. I do bring it out. There's a couple of tunes that we play, and I'll bring it out once in a while just to kind of get a different tone. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it would. Don't know the tune, but unfortunately I don't know how to play it anyway. Yeah, all this stuff. And that was when when I was playing with the big band stuff, I would bring this one, and they went, "Oh, bring the other one. Bring the Gretsch, the electric guitar." They didn't want the traditional, like, just Freddie Green kind of chopping wood, because occasionally I would have to play a couple of riffs here and there and play along with the horns. Well, in that band, the guitar was replacing the piano. So I played in about like 3 or 4 different big bands over the years, and just local community type bands. And the I usually would play with a piano. So okay, all right. So we're in the same boat, though. I try to play jazz, but I don't really have much of a been trying to do this duo stuff with get a little bit more into jazz kind of thing, but you really need to take the time to learn the songs and kind of mess around with the charts, make it your own a little bit. So I'll play a solo, and I can do okay just improvising a solo. So when you're improvising with jazz, you have to kind of read the chart. I mean, if it's simple, you don't have to, but if it's got an interesting chord progression, you kind of have to follow the chords along and know, like, switching modes and switching positions as the song's coming at you. And sometimes it comes out great, and other times not so much. But that's part of the fun anyway, right? So I'll try to, refine a few songs, and then it just takes a little bit of time. But getting into it a little bit here and there, and it's always fun to take the different chord progressions and different ideas and substitute them into some of the rockabilly stuff to make it more interesting and fun for me live. And then as you would I've mentioned this before, where you solo over those chord progressions. If you were doing that in a jazz solo, but you just do that over a simple progression, but you're soloing as if those substitutions were there, and that opens up a whole new world of possibilities. So yeah, I would have to play some of the piano parts in the I can't remember it. um, Something like that. Um, String of Pearls. Do I play any Stevie Ray Vaughan or Hendrix? Not live, but well, I shouldn't say that. Stevie Ray Vaughan, yes. I used to play um, the typical the cliche song. What was it? Pride and Joy. And then I've played I used to play Houses of Rockin'. Those that Houses of Rockin' is a pretty common rockabilly crossover tune. Um, and I learned the riff for it, but I never learned the solo for it for what was it Scuttlebutton, and I've been wanting to put that in the band's set list, and I keep forgetting about it, and maybe I'll remember this time. But yeah, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Hendrix too. I don't really play any Hendrix live. When I started out, I used to play Purple Haze and whatever. I teach it. I've been teaching Hendrix, but I don't play it live specifically. So songs like what was the songs we were working on? Manic Depression, um, Dolly Dagger, uh, and a couple other ones too. Not that and of course like Little Wing and Hey Joe and all that stuff. Stand Next to Your Fire. I think that was the other one we did. I've never played those. Never played those. Um, you think that guitar? Well, the only problem with that last one, sort of. I have a Strat over there, but it's not tuned and it's a mess. I have no idea. It's more of a decoration at this point. It does have the Stevie Ray Vaughan pickups in it. Um, because it's just a Squire. Oh, am I not getting any sound? Oh, it's coming through. Oh, I turned all the effects off. See, that's what happens when you don't have. Whoa. I was playing around with the auto wah last time. Here we go. Yeah, the that I mean, you can play rhythm for While My Guitar Gently Weeps, but you can't really bend with it, so you're not going to get any of those. Whatever the bends, I don't know the solo for it, but you're not going to get those Clapton bends with something with that guitar. But so this is my Tele, and it's kind of a Frankenstein guitar. It's got a maple neck on it. Originally had a rosewood neck, but I really like the maple, so. And I bring it out. I usually play a lot of the surf stuff with this one. So it's cool to see if I can get some spring verb going. So that's the neck pickup. And then the middle. Oh yeah, gotta have a Bigsby. And then the bridge pickup. I honestly don't know what pickup's on there. I was told it was a gift, so it was actually a wedding gift from the drummer in the TeleDynes. Which, if he sees this, thank you again. I love this guitar. I don't bring it out as often as I should. Probably mainly just because I'm lazy. But when I do bring it out, I always love it. I play the all the surf stuff, like I said, on it. Oh, spring verb. Oh, there, wasn't up all the way. And we have the bridge setting. Now you can do the Danny Gatton stuff. Yeah, it works well. I mean, you can play Rockabilly on this stuff, obviously. Right? A nice plank to it. But yeah, all that where it's at. We'll do that one. Of course, we do Walk Don't Run. Everybody's heard that. Hawaii 5-0. Some of the other surf tunes. Perfidia. Yeah, Little Sister. I played that one just last week, actually. Didn't play it on the telly. had a buddy of mine sit in for the first set, or a portion of the first set, and he had a telly, so it was cool to have the Gretsch and the telly playing together. And we'd play different things, and we doubled the like the Folsom solo, and he would play it what down here. Yeah. um, yeah. So what other? We've done that one. I know I have a whole list of dude, a lot of obscure stuff. There's a one called Bustin' Surfboards. Um, it just it's just this the surf beat pretty slow. Boom, pop, pop, pop. Oh, really? Is that how it was got named from the radio? Interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks for subbing, man. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, the Rumble, Bustin' Surfboards, and then this song called Stampede, which we just started doing. We're not still kind of working out the kinks on this one, but it just band. Yeah, it was. Yeah, too heavy back then. Uh, what else do we? I mean, I should just pull up my set list. Uh, oh, we do Apache. Right. Oh yeah. Yellow Jacket. Probably heard that before. Um, Pipeline, of course. Um, this yeah, we do kind of an oddball. It's not really a surf tune, but it's just an instrumental. Is "Cry for a Shadow." The Beatles, one of the Beatles' first songs. I think it was an instrumental called "Cry for a Shadow." Um, I think that's really those are the bulk of them. We did a whole set um not too long ago. It was all surf, about a 2 hour show. It was all just surf instrumental. I didn't even bring a PA system. We just set up the microphone, set up the guitar amps and the drums, and just played. It was kind of cool. And we do this every year. We play. So far, we played every year at this old theater in Newport called Jane Pickens, and they do Jaws. They show the movie Jaws, and it's kind of a big party. Narragansett beer is right there, and they get in the old, bringing the old uh, beer cans out and stuff like that for the show, and then we play surf stuff before the show, and sometimes we've mixed and matched, um, rockabilly with the surf, which is usually what we do live. But this last time we did it, we just for ease, equipment wise, we just did just the surf without singing, and it was fine. Um, but yeah, that's a fun show. It's just the only problem is the equipment. You have plenty of time to set up, but you've got maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most to break everything down. It's not you really don't even have that long. You really have about like 7 minutes, and they want to bring the screen down, start the movie. So you got to get a full PA, drums, amps, bass, every guitars, everything off the stage very quickly. Um, but it's fun. So it's a little bit of a hustle, but it's always a good time. Yeah, the surf stuff's a lot of fun. I wish I could find that set list that I had for the surf. I knew there were other types of. Oh yeah, we do that Apache, and then right after Apache stops, and then we go. I turn the reverb off, and we go into a song called "Running Wild" by the Ventures. A little more of an obscure one, but it's kind of in that same vein. And a little faster. And then we used to do, and we got to bring it back, and we've been meaning to, and just haven't done it. It's quite complicated actually. Is a song called "Slaughter on 10th Avenue" by the Ventures, and that's crazy. I would look up if you like surf stuff. I would look up. You probably heard it, but some of you may have heard it. It's the Live in Japan. I think I've mentioned it before. The Live in Japan 65, I think, is the Ventures. That the sound of that, it's just edgy and it's all Fender Bassmans and you know, just it's crazy. It doesn't sound like it's something from 65, but it is. Yeah. The version if you the real you can hear on that song Slaughter on 10th Avenue. You listen to the studio recording, it's like, oh, it's cool. But then when you listen to the live version, you're like, whoa, totally different feel, edgier, faster, just more in your face. And it's like that's cool. Something like that. Their live version of their instrumental of "I Feel Fine" is pretty cool, which is where I based that Paperback Writer. So I usually play it with the bridge pickup. Yeah, I wish I knew what pickups were in here. They're not Lindy Fralins, and they're not. There's another brand that I used to say all the time, but really cool. 3 single coils and three humbuckers. So it's like 6 pickups. Yeah, you said 6 pickups or 6 separate voicings. Is it just one pickup that has like a tone switch, or is it just Seymour Duncan? Seymour Duncan? No, they're not Seymour Duncans. They're another it's another like I don't want to say boutique brand, but basically not mainstream brand. Yeah, sure. Send the link. It's not probably not going to come through on chat, but if you or at least for some reason I can't get it through the chat. Oh, right. There's one more guitar. I forgot. The acoustic. One pickup, 3 different windings to make different sound. Oh, that's cool. All right. So, see it here. They make 2 different ones of these. I know this seems more like it's like a advertisement for Gretsch today, but I'm not affiliated with Gretsch in any way, shape, or form. Not that I'd be opposed to it, but hint. No, it's fine. These I just like them. You know, they have great guitars in a good price range for the acoustics and for electrics, and they have their higher end stuff as well. And you know, I love tellies, and I've loved, you know, other, if you're playing other genres of music, that you know, we might need something different, but because there's PRS, there's Carvin, there's Jackson soloists, there's all sorts of different types of guitars out there. The LTD, I think, was the other one. Nothing sounds like a Gretsch, exactly. Yeah, they sound very unique. Um, and it's pretty versatile. You know, you can play. You know, if you really want that chicken picking country sound, you really should get a telly. And you want that telly rockabilly rock and roll type sound, you know, obviously, or a Strat works really well in that regard, or the surf stuff. But the rockabilly sound from the Gretsch sounds great, and it's versatile enough where you can play jazz, you can play country, you can play rockabilly, you can play swing and bebop and all of these different genres without having to switch guitars, and they're not complicated. You don't need the one with all the mud switch and the tone knobs and all that stuff. You just need pickup selector and a volume knob. That's it. Everything else comes from the amplifier and your fingers. So anyway, for this one, some of it's going to come through obviously the mic I'm talking through, but I have this other condenser, this KSM set up. I'm not plugging it in because it's kind of useless. Like I said, we can kind of hear it a little bit. I find myself doing that. It's like, oh, there's no Bixby there. So they actually do make a Gretsch with a Bigsby on it, acoustic Gretsch with a Bigsby on it. That's crazy. But I've never played one. I've never seen one in a store. But they make two of these. They make this one, and then they make the black one. I just wish they made the black one instead of the gold trim. It works well on the white, I think. But I think it would be better if they have the silver sparkle like they do on the Phoenix on the black Rancher. But that's just me. So it comes with a little Fishman pickup system, which works most of the time. Has a little 9-volt battery like any other acoustic. No locking tuners or anything like that, but I just have D'Addario strings on there. Acoustic strings. They work well. Yeah, I've had good luck. I haven't really played this too much live, mainly because it doesn't sound good through an electric amplifier, so that means you have to bring a separate thing. Yeah, the headstock is great, right? It's the Falcon, the white Falcon headstock. Yeah, they do make a great resonator guitar. I've never played one, but and I have seen those in the store before. But they used to have those at Guitar Center, but I haven't seen them in a long time. And I'm not much of a slide player. That's another skill that I've just never really took to and mastered too well. I can do a little bit of it. You can play slide in alternate tunings or open tunings and that sort of thing. That makes it a lot easier. But I have heard of that name, Leon Redbone, but I'm not. It escapes me. What? I know somebody's mentioned that before. I'm not familiar, but I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look into it and listen to some stuff. I'm looking for some new stuff to listen to as well. So I probably have heard it. I just don't know it by name. Considering the songs that he's played here, what I'm looking at, it sounds like it. I probably have heard it. Yeah. I've used it for recording. It's great for that. It works great. It works great live. If you're an acoustic player and you need something to play, they're relatively affordable compared to Martins or Taylors or anything like that. Built really well. Unique sound hole. So you kind of, I guess you could put a rare earth pickup in there if you wanted to. It has the Fishman pickup. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't know. Up to you. I think it sounds pretty good. A lot of it depends on what you're plugging into. If you're plugging into a decent acoustic amplifier, it's going to sound pretty good, regardless of whatever you're doing. But recording wise, I usually use these two microphones actually, or a stereo. I forget what they're called, the brand, but it's like a stereo mic, so it comes out and gets one on this side and one on this side, and you're gonna blend them together, and then you get or right here, and you get like the pick sound, but you also get the body of the guitar as well. I've had good luck just using the KSM and then this one to get a stereo sound. This gets the SM7B gives a lot of bass, and the KSM, of course, is a little brighter, gets a little bit more of the tone. The bass compared to the treble, I mean, yeah, that's always the issue, right? And the it's pretty bassy, it's pretty bass heavy. So you have, luckily, it has a treble, middle, and bass adjuster EQ up here. Plus, you'd have whatever you have on your amplifier. Um, it's pretty good. I'd say it's fairly even. Um, a little bright on the bright side. So I sometimes I have to kind of tone that down a little bit, either on the amp or here. Um, the main thing is making sure that the bass isn't too much over the treble. That's usually what'll happen. I'll play something like that, play a low rhythm, and you're used to that bass, and then the bass, if you're playing with a bass player, and then you go and you switch to solo, is a drastic change in sound. Um, so you have to be a little bit more aware of that and really pick and choose your spots. But yeah, it's pretty good overall. I'm just compared to other guitars I played in, like Martins and Taylors, and like I said, I used to work in at a place called Rudy's Music Stop in New York, and they I've repaired all different kinds of acoustics and electrics and everything else. So they all have their pros and cons, and I just personally I just personally can't justify thousands of dollars for an acoustic guitar. Maybe if I played that all the time, that was my main axe, and that was how I made most of my money or something like that. Maybe it'd be worth it. Um, but for me, but that's just me. But Taylor, I like Taylors. Yeah, I like them. Um, I do like their pickup system. It's unique, but it does sound good. It sounds really good. Martins play great. A little bit of a baseball bat neck for me, I feel, but yeah, I like the Taylors. The one thing about, just little setup, little tip on the Taylors. Um, Not that it's going to happen, but unless they've changed the wiring harness, one of the things that happens with Taylors is the way they're set up is underneath the body of the guitar. There are these little magnetic pickups in three different spots, and the necks on the Taylors are big too. Yeah, I wasn't sure. It's been a long time since I played one. I remember working on them, but and I don't really go into the acoustic area too much with Guitar Center when I do occasionally go in there. Um, but yeah, the Taylors have these three little magnetic pickup uh, things. I want to say how they're put in there. I forget. Oh yeah, they're mounted. They're just mounted in there. Um, and that's where you have the adjustments and everything. The three little knobs on the side there, and yeah, if you just play acoustic, it doesn't really matter. And again, for recording, you're not going to really be using that anyway. You're going to be using a microphone. But live, I've people have run into it. People I've played with have played with Taylors, and it would be the most common thing that a Taylor guitar would come in. They'd come in, oh, I'm plugging it in, and I'm getting this buzz, this crazy buzz, and it it was just a known thing. Like if somebody comes in with a Taylor and you're getting a buzz on it, this is what it probably is. And what would happen, people would change the strings, or a string would break usually, and the when they take the peg out to change the string, the ball end of the string would get stuck to the magnet on one of those um, pickups, and so that would cause a buzz. And I'd take some guitars and I'd reach inside, and it would just pull out like a handful of little ball ends of the strings, and then boom, the um, the problem would go away. But yeah, if you have a Taylor and it's doing that, check that before you go. Um, take it in anywhere. Back to the baby blue. Yeah, it's very definitely hotter, more saturation. Yeah, the acoustic room's usually nice and empty. Every time I go in there, there's always somebody playing a banjo or something. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I'll like the Spoke. I mean, it's probably going to be very similar to this thing, but with an orange paint job. No, it's got a little bit. It's got the mud switch and the with just the volume knobs. I really wish I could get one that custom from one from ideal for me would be no mud switch, volume knob, but you could have pickup volume knobs and have four and have like a Gibson and have two tone knobs. Then you could have a little bit more um, flexibility, a little more variation with what you could get tone wise, because you can turn one, have it in the middle, and turn the tone down on one, and turn the other one. And the Ray Buds pickups, yeah, too. That's gonna be a different thing. And of course, a 6120 or a Duo Jet with the Dynasonics. That would be the Dwayne Eddy sound, right? And the P90s. You gotta have it all, right? Yeah, if you want to play some of the T-Bone Walker stuff, have that P90 and kind of emulate old blues sound and play it up here as opposed to what the like the Taylors. Um, Maybe I don't know what all they do. I mean, I don't know if they get into acoustics, but oh the T Armand, that's what it is. Yeah, because they used to be called D Armands, and then the Dynasonic is something else, I guess. I don't know if that's like a Gretsch thing or what, but the yeah, the T Armand ones, I'm sure that would be fantastic eventually. But I need a bigger wall. I don't have anything above my head over here, so I could put a couple up there. It's just going to be filled. I have the door kind of hits that. Where am I going to run out of space? I tried mounting something back there, but it didn't fit. Oh, okay, cool. I'll get it then. Oh, it once, of course, Google wants to update. um, I'm trying to see if I see it here. I haven't through yet, but cool. Nope, nothing yet. But oh, they do. Oh, okay, probably. I mean, They're not that big of a deal to fix. I mean, unless something's major wrong with it. But you can just order. We're talking about the harnesses for the tailors, right? I would assume, because I've installed those before. They're not that difficult to deal with. You can get them, or at least you used to be able to get them right from Taylor. Or I mean, like or are you talking about the the uh, for a Gretsch guitar? Oh, the Gretsch. Okay, so for that, I mean, you don't really need a wiring harness. I mean, you the hard the I wouldn't do it because you could you don't you have to drill extra holes. I'm not doing that. So if somebody else, maybe would do it, and I could trust to do that, and had a extra. That's why it'd be great to find, even if it was a little pricey, just find a shell of a Gretsch, and then build it from there. But yeah, I could make my own wiring harness. That's not that big of a deal. It's for something like that. That's simply just uh, you just build it outside of the guitar and connect all your wiring. It's not that it's You just follow the wiring diagram. It's really not that difficult. Um, it's just ground, neutral, hot to the pickup, to the ground, to the output jack, and then that goes to one of the side. I forget, it's the left side of the peg on the pot, and then the other pot gets pinched down and soldered to the pot itself, where the ground can get soldered down to that as well. And you just follow the diagram of however you want it connected. And the complication, and then the only thing with the four knobs is that you have to have just the capacitors that go between each each of the knobs. But the great thing about, and then of course the pickups have to be wired to it, obviously. But the best thing to do is, in that case, is you can just wire it outside of the guitar and then test it, and then once it's working, you just tap it with a screwdriver, and once you can hear all the tones and everything's working, then you can just install it, and that's not, and you just trim the wires up so it's tight enough, roughly within the space, and you just fishing line and put it all through the holes where the pickups are, and the pickups are still out here, and you're putting all the wires through, and then pulling it all through with the fishing wire, and then just tightening it all up and and then you set the pickups down and mount them down in there. And yeah, it's time consuming, but it's not that difficult. It's really just a matter of knowing how to follow a wiring diagram and getting used to soldering a little bit, which isn't. I've burnt myself enough to doing pickup repairs that you learn quick. But yeah, I haven't done it in a while. Just haven't had a need to. But that would be my ideal, if I, find a 6120 shell and with an ebony neck, which would still probably be $2,000 with nothing in it, and then set it all up and get the uh, get the pickups you want, whatever you want in there. Is Gretsch throwing away any Friday specials? Cool. Well, anyway, I went through all the guitars. That was fun. Um, we got probably gonna get going here shortly. It's been a lot of fun today. Do it a little bit longer, and we got like I said, we got a bunch of videos coming up soon. I'm just gonna be it's gonna be a little bit factory seconds, yeah. It's gonna be a little bit of time until the videos come out, but once I get them done, they'll be coming out on a regular basis. That's the goal. So I can take a little bit of a pause here as far as release goes, but in that time I'll just be recording the videos so I have more of them coming out consistently instead of just doing one and going, oh, okay, now I do another one, and by the time I get the next one out, it's a month goes by, which is crazy to say that it takes that long, and it really shouldn't. But for whatever reason, it seems to get delayed for one reason or another. And usually it's, again, doing the lessons. I'll try to rush to get it done, and then I find out I make a mistake and have to go back and redo stuff. But um, so I don't want to. So just take my time with it and really pay attention to what I'm doing as far as the lessons go. I've learned, what to focus on first, and the main thing is get that tablature as accurate as you possibly can and learn it, and then and get the script done, and then before you even get into recording the video, and then it makes it a whole lot easier. And having the teleprompter is, I used it for the last video. It made it a whole lot easier when it came to the editing process. I didn't have to go through and chop up like 10 different takes of the same thing. Um, so now as the gigs are cooling down a little bit, I'll be getting some more time really soon, sorry, um, and be able to get these videos out faster. So, but yeah, I want to build the channel, and I want to get continue to do it. And I know that you know the algorithm can tend to, I don't want to use the word punish you, but sort of, people have said that, where if you're not consistent, you kind of get lost in the algorithm, and you're not constantly pushing out videos. It's somewhat competitive, but you're competing against yourself, really, I guess, more than anything else. But I appreciate everybody that's you know subscribed to the channel and keeps showing up to watch the videos. And every time a new video comes out, it gets more views faster than the last one did. And the live streams have been ticking up every week. Uh, every week, it's roughly about anywhere from 10 to 20 more views. And before you know it, we'll have more people watching on a regular basis, and chiming in. At least that's the goal, anyway, right? So until then, until next time, next Saturday at 4 o'clock, I'll post for it earlier. I could actually go ahead and post for it right away. I think it helps if I post for it. The sooner I post for it and people know it's coming, they can plan for it. The Ray Butts pickups, it's going to be a while before I get that smoke. But when I do, I will definitely let you know. Anyway, until next time, have a good one. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next week. Later.